This is the Night Wolf howling at you, and today we're going to jump through the portal back to Eternia so we can look at the Turtles of Grayskull, 2 Bopsteady, Two-Headed Mutant Monstrosity, part of the Masters of the Universe Ninja Turtles crossover line. And this also gives us the last of the pieces to build the MOTU figure. And it's about freaking time. This is a combination of Bebop and Rocksteady, and let's be honest, that's kind of a dumb freaking name that they gave him. I honestly would probably just go with Bopsteady. The 2 Bopsteady just sounds stupid. But it's trying to go with the whole too bad. And of course, if we read the comics, it's hard to tell what went on because it looked like in the mini comics that Bebop, Rocksteady, and Too Bad all ended up in the mutagen together, and then they fused into this. But let's go ahead and take a look at the side of the box. We got some more artwork with 2 Bopsteady there. It's okay. The other side, we got some more 2 Bopsteady artwork. Still okay. And on the back of the box, we have 2 Bopsteady going up against Leonardo, stealth version, and He-Man, also stealth version. Accidents happen when you mess with mutagen. In the case of Bebop and Rocksteady, it can happen more than once. When Shredder's bickering lackeys crash into the ooze pit, they fuse together to form the massive, muscle-headed 2 Bopsteady. And of course, on the bottom of the box, we see that they are armed for battle, and of course, the last pieces for our MOTU figure. Let's open this sucker up. So here on the side, it shows us that we can put the mace into the hand slot, kind of like with the Krang figure. That sword fits in the hand or on the back of the harness. Honestly, you'd think they would have come up with a better background for these things. Here we got our little thing that shows all of our removable parts. Pretty much the standard. Although I don't know why there's a separate bit on the... Oh, I know why. They're using the 2 Bop... 2 Bop. They're using the Too Bad cartoon body for this one, so the legs can also pop off, which would be cool if they'd given us a second set of bodies so we could do Rocksteady and Bebop separately. Although Toy Habits wasn't the one who did this, I believe I saw a report where they were talking about somebody else on the Toy Tube area who had put together a separated Bebop and Rocksteady for this. But yeah, this is kind of too bad. Like, oh, that was a bad pun. I didn't mean to do it. I'm sorry. That they should have. I think they should have done the same thing they did with Too Bad though, where they gave us the parts to create the them separate too. You know, especially since they did give us the legs that separate, just like that version of the toy. Because yeah, it is the same body here. Then of course we get the artwork card that comes with all the deluxe figures, which I'll still go back to saying I do kind of wish they'd just given us mini comics again. 2 Bopsteady, the 2-headed mutant monstrosity. Mutagen master powers. Bebop, punk pork powerhouse. Warthog of the wanton mayhem. Rocksteady, Rhino ready to rampage. Puts the tusk in destruction. Too Bad fusion. Twice the power, twice the hatred for each other. Well, see, now that doesn't make sense either because even though they bicker, they never really hated each other. I think they were actually like, weren't they the leaders of their gang or something prior to being mutated, since this is based on the animated universe? But let's set that aside for a moment and just take a quick look at the Roboto parts, Metaboto parts. We've got the other arm finally. We got some feet. We got the little hookup to swap out the body parts on the hand with. We got a full-fledged looking turtle hand-ish thing, even though the arm comes with the metallic one. We've got a little radar dish, which I don't know if this is warped or if it's supposed to look this janky. But this goes back to the original metal head. Ugh. And we have a little drill attachment, which is a new part. I don't think we've gotten this with any other figure yet. Not sure if that actually came with the original robot. Fudge. The original metal head or not. But this will allow us to actually finally look at the full one. He comes with the same mace attachment that Krang had, which I do appreciate the fact that they did make little plastic linking chains for this. And then that's the sword right there. It's also a new part. Serrated side on one, blade on the other. Now let's take a look at our mutant figure here. So the head sculpt on these two guys, by the way, actually look pretty good. And I'm going to just say I'm impressed with the paint job on the nose ring on Bebop there, because I honestly thought it was a separate piece, and it is not. It is just painted. So the deco on there was really well done. You know, he still has his signature purple glasses and mohawk. Aside from Rocksteady's head being kind of smaller, more blunt, maybe, I guess, than what it normally is. The head looks pretty good, too, on him. I don't recall him having 3 sets of hair going on his head, but it does work with this look. So overall, I think they did an excellent job with the head sculpts on this. And again, I would really like to see these guys as 2 separate figures as well. Heads are on ball joints. They interfere with each other, which you can pretty much guess was going to be the thing. Although this may not, I don't think this was a problem at all with the Too Bad figure, but that's mostly because Too Bad did not have large snouts attached to them. So these guys, you know, keep on running into each other. But they can kiss. But yeah, we have the standard movements of kind of up. Down's a little harder to do with this. Looks like we're using an animated arm also. So we have the hinge up. The shoulder pauldron on this side kind of gets in the way and kind of doesn't. It makes it a little more difficult, but doesn't necessarily interfere. The spin, on the other hand, really sucks. The vest definitely gets in the way, and it looks like I've already fatigued the plastic on the vest just doing that. So that's kind of a shame. We do have the single hinge at the elbow. And again, this is the animated hand. We get a spin. Yeah, wrist gives us also a spin and can hinge in and out like the standard Origin style figures. Waist swivel, spin it all around. We can kick up yay far. We can kick back yay far. And we can bend at the knee like that. There's a little bit of a twist available in the knee though, because it isn't a pin. We have a full spin at the boot. Cut. And a hinge, and of course the spin on the peg that's attaching the foot to there. Let's see. While this is a separate piece from the leg, it does appear that they, 1, designed the leg specifically to put that on there, and 2, glued it in place. What I've been kind of curious about, though, is the harness. That detaches over there. Really, that's the only part that detaches. So the harness comes off and the vest comes off. The vest is pretty thin. It's also torn in the back. And yeah, as mentioned before, this is the cartoon body because you can tell by the way the abs are designed, which does kind of make me, I guess it kind of makes sense to somewhat use the cartoon stuff since realistically, this mashup is generally considered to be the Masters of the Universe cartoon and the Ninja Turtles cartoon. However, none of the other figures have used the cartoon bodies yet. This also has me wondering when and if they do a Origins Too Bad, which I would like an Origins Too Bad. Are they just going to reuse this body part again for that, or are they going to make an actual Origin style body for it? Honestly, the fact that they've reused this for this, when like the fact that they use this for this cartoon one instead of making an Origins one or a new one does kind of make me think that there's a good chance. Oh, I screwed that up. There's a good chance that Mattel won't be making a new body for a Origins version of Too Bad, and may just go ahead and reuse this again there. Which, I mean, cost wise, does make sense because this is a unique part. You want to get as much reuse out of it as possible. But they also could have made the Origins version. Oh my god! Instead, you know what I mean? Instead of doing the cartoon version, even though they did the cartoon version of Too Bad. Oh, crap on a cracker. Weapon wise, again, the idea here is that you can swap out the mace hand. Not the mace hand. The hand with the mace. And he can basically beat himself with it. And of course, with the sword. I'm not sure how effective you're going to be, though, if you're fighting with a mace and a sword. But I'm kind of thinking you're not going to be very effective if you're fighting with a mace and a sword at the same time. And to note, on the back, by the way, the harness, it's that same stupid design that's on the turtle shells, too. I don't know why they decided to continue it over on here, the look of it, but they did. And at least it fits the sword. Unlike a lot of the turtle ones where the weapons barely fit in there, or you can only fit one if they're carrying two. But that's my complaint that I've had on pretty much all the turtles, so they should be used to it by now, right? I actually do kind of like the double layered thing here, though, with the vest as a separate piece and the harness as a separate piece. Kind of the same as they did with the Splinter Skull, where they had the King Grayskull version of the harness sitting over top of Splinter's kimono top. Also, like they got the little nodules here, like Too Bad had on his. Overall, it's not a bad figure. While I again do applaud them for the plastic chain on the mace here, the mace attachment has never been my favorite thing, even with the Krang figure. So if you liked Bebop and Rocksteady, I say go for this one. I do hope they give us a Bebop and Rocksteady separately in the Turtles of Grayskull line, because I do like the Turtle of Grayskull figures overall. Although, to be perfectly honest, some of the upcoming ones, I'll need to take a look at the figures closer, but I haven't been too impressed with what I've seen on them. It's kind of like they dialed things up to a 20 type of thing. And if you're wondering, I am specifying Rattler and Magana on that one. Those are two that look interesting, but I am a bit leery of as well. But I hope you'll join me when I get to do those reviews when they finally come out as well. So let me know what you think in the comments below, and if you enjoyed watching me talk about this, please feel free to subscribe. Leave a like if you liked it. If you hated it, man, go ahead and leave a dislike. And if you want to torture people, I always say you should share this with others. Thanks for watching. Peace and love.